Boko Haram recruited spies and weapons smugglers with 5,000 naira. Zulum. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has emphasized the need to continue to fight poverty in the country, lamenting that some people have been recruited into the Boko Haram group with just 5,000 naira. The governor stated this while delivering an address to mark the 2021 Democracy Day and the second anniversary of his government. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum, who is a professor, claimed a lot had been achieved in terms of infrastructural development in the state and securing the people from the Boko Haram attack. He said, from records, we have experienced instances where insurgents offered as low as between 5,000 naira and 10,000 naira to recruit some spies and smugglers of weapons. We need to ensure that our good citizens had the support they needed and they were not exposed to potential attractions for the incentives of insurgents. There was risk that insurgents could, after making the IDPs socially and economically vulnerable, also explore that vulnerability by offering food and cash incentives to recruit officers who could even serve as their spies in communities. On his achievements, the governor said, with shared commitments and with the strong goodwill, support, and prayers from you, the people of Borno State were delivering 556 capital projects with 70% of the total already completed, while 30% are at various completion levels. Our projects done with your support include 194 capital projects on education, which encompasses rehabilitation, completion, and new construction of mega-sized government technical colleges and primary schools in different communities. We have 63 capital projects in governance and another 63 capital projects on roads, transport, rural and urban areas. 59 capital projects are being delivered on water and environment, and so on. All right. But was that the question though? No one really asked, to be honest, because again, if it's not evident, I mean, it's your second anniversary in power and like this, and nothing has been there to show for it. Okay, cool. I mean, that's just it. I think the real question we need to be asking is, first of all, why should prices as little as 5,000 naira be enough and serve as an incentive to be able, as an incentive to lure people into joining Boko Haram? That is the real problem. Why are this in a vulnerable state that makes such very likely? That is the real question we're going to be asking. Because again, poverty is a real issue. Poverty, and then we now go to safety and security. These are these two things that need to be addressed in this country. Because again, with food and all that, I mean, as a governor, what have you done? Because if your people are in such a state, then it shows that for the last 4 years, or actually 6 years, what have you been doing? That they are in still, that they're so vulnerable to such. I mean, it's just, listen. So now that you've highlighted that this is what it takes for, the recruitment of people into Boko Haram, what do you plan to do about it? As in your first, because all these projects are long-term projects that may not even be completed by your administration. Well, it's your second term, so at least a lot of them should have been completed, as you've said. But still, the plans you're making are long-term plans. What are the ones short-term plans in terms of trying to curb this as fast as you can? Because we are really in a state of emergency, and no one is, treating all these issues with a state or a sense of urgency that is required. So, somebody says you're doing your very best to empower your people and giving huge support to vigilantes and securities. God is with you. And Boko Haram will be history one day. Well, Nigerians are tired. That's the thing. They don't. One day, when is one day? First of all, and two, there are other tribes that do not want to be involved with Nigeria, aka Biafra. Because it's like, what is the point going through this much stress? Because again, the stress on one country means stress for all, whether you like it or not, or maybe you think your region is better than the other. But Boko Haram affecting one side it's going to take a toll on the rest of the states. And you know what? Some states, as it is their prerogative, they just feel like, we don't have to go through this. Why do we have to then suffer the brunt of what is happening in one region? Argue about it, but they don't have to. And if they decide they want to leave, they want to leave. So again, it's just like, who's then going to fix the problem? Because no one's willing to. and the people who are leading, who are in positions of authority in these areas of, in high insecurity, are not doing anything effective as well. So who's going to fix it? And the people in the regions that are being affected are not even protesting. They don't protest. And to me, it doesn't make sense. If you can give a reason why they might not protest, please put it in the comment section below. But honestly, if there's any place that's meant to be like high on protest, as in like proper lashing out of the people, it should be there, because they go through too much. They go through too much for a region that accounts for almost 100% of the Nigerian government, and yet they don't benefit anything. That's just it. Somebody says that tells you the level of poverty in the land, more so the level of educational decadence in this country. If not, why would a normal human being consider taking 5,000 naira to kill himself or his fellow innocent human being? Exactly. It's as simple as that. And I don't even, it doesn't even need that much analysis. It's just very clear that Nigeria is broken, it's damaged, and needs to be fixed immediately. We're protesting, but again, it's like, what is the next line of action? We need to add pressure. We are doing that. I mean, to be honest, June 12 was such a success. Of course, there were, bumps here and there with some people being, actually tear gas as well. Actually, it wasn't that well. In some states, it went really well. In some, it didn't. I think in Lagos State, one time or during the day, there was actually like the police were giving out tear gas and another canisters as well. Which, okay, fine. But I think this protest, in comparison to the other ones, definitely more chill. Because the government understands that we can't try anyhow, because again, the whole world is going to see what we are doing. So I guess that is a good thing. Someone says, at least there's assurance of getting the money. If to say is the federal government, you have to protest, you will get paid. I don't blame the Boko Haram supporters. I mean, I guess this person trying to say that, the money is, I mean, honestly, there's no justification for it. But again, we understand the circumstances that will lead somebody to basically join Boko Haram. But it's in that, I mean, I don't know. It's a level of education, level of infrastructure. It's because again, the same cannot be said for the South. That's why I'm like, how do we argue this? Because again, you can't tell me that there's no poverty in the South. You cannot tell me that in the South that education is not, education obviously is better and higher than the North. But again, those that are not educated still have a sense of independence in their thinking, at least to a large extent. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's definitely better than the North. That's it. Put what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe.